Now, I am pissed right now because, well, I was going to do Freddy vs. Jason for the next entry of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. But you know what? I want to end this. I want to end this series on a good note, not and on a shitty note. So I want to get this one before I do Freddy vs. Jason. One of the worst remakes, especially for horror film remakes as well. I don't give a crap that case breaks. I don't. Nightmare on Elm Street, 2010 remake. Okay, right. First off, it made a lot. It made money. That's what most remakes are nowadays, to make money. Well, guess what? Guess what? They succeeded. It became the highest-grossing one in the whole franchise, slightly above Freddy vs. Jason. Well, they made for money. They succeeded. Congratulations on that. I don't know what I can say about this. No typical remake, well, a bad one as well. It got negative reviews. It has the lowest in the franchise. 15% Rotten Tomatoes. It deserves it. 5.2 IMDb. It's still too high. It's below Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. I would put that above that. Any of these films are higher than this. Well, even Part 5 of The Dream Child, I'm not a fan of. I still put this above this because, overall total in the franchise, the worst is the remake. But as for the film with Robert Englund, the least is still Part 5 of The Dream Child, but still. But overall total in general, the worst is the remake. It was such a chore to sit through. Again, I haven't watched that film in a few years. I wanted to forget about it, but just to do this, to keep the thing, just see where I'm going with this. But I wanted to leave my brain so I can forget about this piece of shit. And plus, this is a remake I wanted to rant on for some time, but since I reviewed the franchise, review this, now you got it. Oh, by the way, you know why I'm not wearing the Freddy sweater? Because I don't think it deserves to be shown in this review, because I don't think it's insulting to the character itself. That's me. So that's why I'm not wearing the Freddy sweater, because to me, I think that this one is an insult to the character of Freddy Krueger. So that's why I'm not wearing it. All you see is this where my Jurassic Park shirt, and you can probably see my hairy chest, probably. What can I say? Okay. First of all, it's directed by a guy who did music videos named Samuel Bear. So the guy is named after the aspirin Bear. So yeah, a guy who's named after an aspirin. All he did was music videos. So a guy who's done music videos is fit to direct a remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, totally makes sense. And you got Michael Bay because he was the executive producer for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which is much better than this, and that one I actually did like. Much better than this. 2009 Friday the 13th film remake, call it. I would say it's still better than this. I never minded that one, actually. He did one on the Hitcher remake, which is a total piece of trash as well. That one's a total piece of trash, and so is this one. Yeah, because Michael Bay has his little trend of producing on these horror film remakes back then. Even the Amityville Horror as well from 2005. And it goes, and also not because of that though, but the script is horrible as well. One of them I forget. The other one I know the guy Eric Heiser, I think the guy's name is. He wrote on the 2011 Thing prequel. Yeah, that was another piece of crap as well. Although I do give the guy props, he directed Hours. One of the last ones that Paul Walker did. I will give that guy props for that, because I enjoy Hours with Paul Walker. But that doesn't excuse for writing such a shitty script for this film. That does not excuse that, though. No excuse for this one. Did no better on the Theme prequel. No better on this. So as a writer, I'm talking about. He did good directing Hours of Paul Walker, but as a writer, no, terrible. So okay, how it opens up? It opens up in a diner. Yeah, it opens up with a guy who's from the Twilight films, Cullen Lutz. He also played Hercules in Rennie Harlin's film, which is a film I forgot when I reviewed Part 4, The Dream Master, that Rennie Harlin directed. I forgot to mention he directed a 2014 film called The Legend of Hercules. It was that bad. It starred that guy who played Hercules, who's this opening in this guy in here. And that film flopped. That was a bad film from Rennie Harlin, I will say that. But this guy, he's mostly known for being in the Twilight films. Never gave a rat's ass about the Twilight films. Never cared for him anyway. And so yeah, he's a guy. He's walking, and he gets cut by Freddy Krueger. Stupid thing is that the guy is not in pain. He looks at he got a really big nasty cut in his hand, but it looks like the guy's not in pain. As if he didn't feel anything. No, he's like nothing. And you got Nancy, who was played by Rooney Mara, which she was in the 2011 Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I had no interest in that. She sucked big time as Nancy. She sucked in this film big time. She was no Heather Langenkamp at all. That's not one of the worst things of this is the acting in this film is very terrible in this film. Rooney Mara is one of the prime points in this film for bad acting. She's just like blank stare, like nothing's on upstairs, or like no lights on, blank stare, just talking as if she's like a zombie. You know, even when she's talking to Kyle Gallner, which honestly, he's the best actor in this film, and funny because he has my name, you know, Kyle. He's probably he's probably the best actor in the film. He has like all the other characters in all the previous franchises. They all had energy and personality to them. Here, no one has no personality or energy to them except for Kyle Gallner. I'll probably say he's the only out of all this group of flunkies in this. He's probably the only one who has a personality to him. So maybe because he's the guy's name has the same name as me. Maybe that's because he has the best acting in the film. I don't know, but yeah, he's the only one, and this has seemed like he has emotion to him. You know, everyone else is like all wooden, you know, blank. Well, especially Rooney Mara, she's like blank stare, and just talking like a zombie. No personality at all. Just like she's like this. Yeah. But going back to the first guy who opened up, Cullen Lutz. Freddy comes up again, and the guy has a knife, which he's trying to get Freddy, but if you look in the real world, he's trying to put a knife to him and cuts the guy's throat, and then cuts to the title, Elm Street. And that was a lame death as well. Just, I mean, and then after that, there's a funeral for the guy. And the guy, the girl that she was with, Katie Cassidy, there's her name. I know I've seen her in a couple of other films. I know I've seen her. I know I've seen her. And funny thing, she falls asleep during the funeral because she sees a girl with slash marks on her. Funny, she falls asleep at a funeral. Especially this film feels like it is a funeral. It is. Just trying to put the nail in the coffin in this franchise. That's what I think. Makes me want to fall asleep at this franchise's funeral. I would say that. Frick. And then they all question whether there's this picture. It's like, oh, we knew each other back in we were preschool. I thought we met like later on, like junior high and all that stuff. And that's another funny thing. It shows like because all these kids, they were all in the same preschool as kids where Freddy Krueger's at, and for some reason they all forgot they just all forgotten that they were all there. Maybe the parents do something where make them go to a hypnosis doctor, or make them forget all those terrible things they did at preschool. The funny thing is, if they had those pictures to show at the funeral, if they were when they were little kids at preschool, and it somehow leads with the questions, why don't you just get rid of those pictures and forget about them? These kids, they I had some terrible happened to our kids. We had these pictures when they were preschool, and when they all were, knew each other when we were kids, but we wouldn't want to make them forget. You get what I'm saying? Just throw away the pictures and just don't bring them to a funeral if you think it's gonna. We knew each other from preschool. I thought we were in the junior high and all that stuff. You get the whole meaning of what I'm saying. They have pictures though, but whatever. It's a bad film, so I'm not going into it. It's just none of the stuff makes sense. So, and then the next with the girl Cassidy, she falls asleep in class. Freddy Krueger's there, and Jackie Earle Haley. What can I say about Jackie Earle Haley? First of all, he's trying to do his same Rorschach voice from Watchmen. That's one thing. And I knew for the fact, when Robert Englund was going to retire from the character, we all knew that no one's going to be a better Freddy Krueger than Robert Englund. He's the one and only true Freddy Krueger. No one else can do better than he can. He can. Whether it's to be a dark or scary Freddy or a goofy and fun Freddy, like in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. Jackie Earle Haley. He's playing Freddy Krueger Rorschach style. He has the same voice as he did in Watchmen. It's like, you have nothing to worry about. This won't hurt one little bit. He was such a shitty Freddy Krueger. Shitty Freddy Krueger. And instead of saying, the makeup, yeah, they added some CG enhancements to make it more realistic for him being burned. Now, how pathetic is that when you have to CG parts of the face to make it look burned? How pathetic is that when, what do you want to go through all the trouble to put how many hours of makeup when how Robert Englund was to get all the makeup on him for each and every film? So it's just of course, nowadays they always go the cheaper way because CG's everywhere nowadays. So even put little CG portions on a makeup on a person who's burned and haunts people in their dreams. Yeah, makes sense whatsoever. That's just freaking pathetic. Yeah. So yeah, whatever. I'm just skipping on because I wanted to get through this as fast as I can. I want to make this a long ass review. So, who's the boyfriend? Her first boyfriend. With the kid's name Jesse, is it? Because they changed the character names except for Nancy. Thomas Dekker, this is the guy's name. And I thought I gotta see something here. The guy who plays Jesse, Thomas Dekker. Really? I thought so, because I clearly freaking forgot. So, back in the day, he voiced Littlefoot in some of the Land Before Time films. That's why, when I reviewed the whole film, when I reviewed all the Land Before Time films, their early ones, he voiced Littlefoot in the Part 6, Part 7, and Part 8, and Part 9 of Land Before Time films. Well, Part 5, and also in Part 5, well, he did the singing, though, for that, though. But for the Part 6, 7, 8, and 9, he voiced Littlefoot. I couldn't believe that. I completely freaking forgot. I would not have known that. When I reviewed the franchise, I probably said he played in the Elm Street remake, but I forgot about it, because that's how bad this film is. It makes me want to forget the terrible things about it. But yeah, that's the guy who, the old boyfriend Jesse, with the girl Katie Cassidy, Thomas Dekker is the guy's name. Yeah, he voiced Littlefoot in some of those 11 4 Time films. Mind-boggling. And then she falls asleep. Her dog's dead. Well, in a dream though, her dog's dead. Freddy's like, "Oh, I was just petting him," and then she gets it. She flies. Like how in the original, they steal stuff from the original, of course. Burp makes me want to burp on this movie, let alone puke on this film. She like with Tina in the original, how she's slowly sliding up towards the ceiling, upside down. That was good. Here, she just lifts up and flies around like it's a ghost is like, I don't know, being just tossing around like a rag doll. Being tossed around like a rag doll. That's how it's supposed to be more scary, right? It's being like a ghost, like you see something from the paranormal activity films when someone just flies back and all that stuff. And then she gets slashed. The guy gets scared. He runs out. He gets caught, put in jail, and then he's the guy who's next. He's in. Well, he thinks he's all asleep in this jail cell. Freddy, it's like, really, oh god, no, just me. And then he just gets right from behind, out through the chest, clawed through the chest. And that's the only death. Only 3 deaths in this film. Well, at least, Elm Street wasn't the original wasn't a big body count film anyway, so no body count in this though. But yeah, that's the only death, and all 3 deaths were lame. All of them were, and it was especially stealing from the original. Oh yeah, when Nancy was sleeping, I mentioned this in the original. Well, with Freddy in the original, with Freddy pushing it through the walls on stuff, which back then was just such cheap to do. They cost how much? Probably less than $1 or something like that. I don't know, but that was really great. Especially that was if that's what it cost. That was that was well done, excellent effects from when I reviewed the original film of Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street with the Freddy pressing through the wall. For that amount of money, if it was probably cheap for $1, that was great. Here, no, badly done, piss poor CGI to make it more realistic. In a dream, yeah, sure, yeah. In the original, Freddy Krueger is just slightly pushing in. Here, in this bad CGI effect, is all going out like a freaking ghost in the wall. Just trying to calm down. You see me while I'm rocking because this film is making me unstable. I'm about to lose it, and that's why usually when you see my bed is usually made perfectly right. I freaking toss that side out of anger. That's why my bed is a mess, and that's why I'm not trying to show it, because this film is making me so mad. I'm just trying to keep my sanity in. It's driving me insane. Just need to breathe. That's all I need to do is keep on breathing. I know it's only just a movie, but it's a film that should not have been made. Another pointless, needless remake that only except to be done for money. So, after that, and then still another thing for the original, when Nancy falls asleep in the bathtub, the claw coming out, but nothing happens. Like the original, she gets dragged into this pool in the bathtub, but it's like a dark pool, right? But here, she wakes up in the tub. Her room is snowing. She sees the school is snowing, and really when she first sees Freddy Krueger, she doesn't express a sign of fear. She doesn't act all scared. Oh, there's a badly burned man with a razor glove. She doesn't act all scared. She's as if it was nothing. Yeah, this woman, Rooney Mara, she's just so horrible in this film. She's probably one of the worst leads I've seen. I like the horror film remakes I've seen. She's one of the worst leads. She's just so bland, boring, and totally just blank, emotionless face stare. Like I said, the guy Gallner plays a boyfriend, Kyle Gallner, he has more personality than anybody in this movie. And then when she talks in the library, well, I will say he says something stupid because, explaining about what's going on and the dreams and all that stuff, and, you start dreaming, you start awake, and then eventually, what was it he said, micro naps, and he ended up in a coma. Permanent sleep. Yeah, we had to explain that's what coma is. It's permanent sleep, because we don't have the brain power to think that, oh yeah, coma is permanent sleep. So yeah, thanks for that line. Well, it's not the actor's fault. It's the shitty script that's making him saying it. So yeah, and he has a dream. He's in the library, all these books, and then Freddy Krueger just quickly turns around really quick. Nothing too much for that dream. And then another one where he just falls asleep while swimming, in a swimming class. Somehow he falls asleep while swimming, but to show us how Freddy Krueger, how he got burned. The mob parents go after him. Kyle Gallner's father in the film is actually played by Clancy Brown. Why is Clancy Brown? I like Clancy Brown. He should not be in this movie. He should just go back to voicing Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob instead of being in this movie. But hey, I like Clancy Brown. And I was like, okay, cool, right, Clancy Brown, cool to see him, but please don't be in this movie. Go back to voicing Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob, please. But yeah, he throws a gas can, he sets the building on fire, and Freddy Krueger, he just takes his jacket off, all dramatic, because we have to show the sweater he was wearing. He runs out of the building, burning, bad CGI effect, bad fire burning him, bad CGI fire. And he goes and takes Nancy, talks to Clancy Brown, saying, "Oh," because also the mom also explained about Freddy Krueger as well. Let's start with the mom, because she tells Nancy in the preschool, you're all these kids that were, including the ones that were dying, you're all kids in the preschool together, and he was a gardener. Freddy Krueger was a gardener, and here's another slight change though. Instead of being a child killer, he was a child molester, because he takes him to the secret cave. And Nancy was his favorite kid. So he is another burp. It makes me want to freaking puke on this film and burp in its face. Well, I would rather get because I threw it though, but still. So, and also brings up another pointless thing. Freddy Krueger was a child killer. That's why he created the gloves, the razor gloves, right? Why would a killer who was a child molester? Why would he have a razor glove? Well, because he's Freddy Krueger and he has to have it, probably. Doesn't matter what he is. He's Freddy Krueger. He has to have the glove. If he's a child molester, even if he's a child molester, but with Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger, it made sense because he was a child killer. That's why, when Freddy's Dead, Final Nightmare, how it showed his workshop, he made all these different Freddy razor gloves because he was a child killer. Here, I guess it doesn't matter if he's even if he is a child molester, he still has to wear the razor glove because that's the character. Okay, it's Freddy Krueger. There would be no Freddy Krueger without the famous razor glove, right? Yeah. But yeah, so and then go back with when we went to talk with Clancy Brown. They said how did you know he was guilty? The guy Quentin Gallner said, "How'd you know he was guilty? Did you find the cave?" He nods no. "You killed an innocent man then." How does he think Freddy Krueger is an innocent man? How does he think that? Well, because in the dream, they just saw the parents chasing after him, not wondering why would they burn him for? Maybe that's why, I don't know. But yeah, why would he think he's an innocent man? Even though us as the audience, we know he's not an innocent man though, but still, why would he say that though? Because they couldn't find no proof. So, moving on. Like I said, it makes no sense. So they go to the pharmacy. Okay, I'll give the remake this. At least they do something, I would say, because in this film, there's nothing the whole rest of the series. Like I said, had a lot of imaginative stuff going because it's dreams and nightmares. You can do anything and stuff like that. Here, I will give this one scene. I will say that. Where Nancy, she's in one of the aisles, and she's looking down the aisles, and she sees Freddy Krueger, and I like how it's interacting with the real world because you're dreaming with your eyes open. I will give this though something a little bit creative. I will give a 1 kudo to, okay, but that doesn't mean it doesn't save the film because this film was too shitty anyway. But I will give this 1 kudo though. Okay, it's he sees Freddy Krueger down the aisle, and it's the aisle starts changing from the real world, the shopping aisle, to the boiler room. It's intertwining with each other, and when Freddy Krueger puts his claws on the boiler pipe, but actually in the real world, it knocks down these bottles off a shelf as she's lying on the floor trying to get away. As he's going, twitching in and out of real world. When he's clawing on the walls, it's actually clawing some of the stuff, knocking stuff off the shelves. I will give that though. That was something a little bit different, I would say. But that still doesn't save the film because the film was so shitty beyond belief. So bland and boring. So yeah, okay, I also get so Kyle Gallner and that one scene right there. And then she's going to the hospital because she got cut, and I think actually the girl, the woman who's the nurse who's trying to put her to sleep, I think that's Judith Hogue. You know, Judith Hogue, who played April O'Neil from the first the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja. Still must make me mumble in my words again. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film from 1990. There you go. Yeah, I think that was Judith Hogue. And I was like, what is she doing here? Again. Like with Clancy Brown, why is she doing it in this film? Man. So after that incident at the hospital, they go to where the old preschool was, they find the cave, and they find the pictures, and it's like, oh, we were wrong. I'm like, duh. No shit, you were wrong. Saying you was innocent. And then Nancy falls asleep, tries to bring him out in the real world. And finally, as soon as after she falls asleep, Kyle Gallner falls asleep. And he gets slashed right here by Freddy. And then Nancy's dream, she's running, she falls into this hallway of blood, but then she falls into the bedroom. And she just does nothing to fight back against Freddy Krueger. Well, she stabs him in the eye, but it's in the dream, so it doesn't hurt him. She doesn't do anything besides that. Heather Langenkamp in the original, she sets up, in the real world, she sets up booby traps, a freaking sledgehammer, sets up a bomb, and throws gasoline and burns the crap out of him in the real world. She fights Freddy Krueger. You know, just to do the best to eliminate him. And here, even in a dream, she does nothing against this guy. Nothing. And Kyle Gallner, when he wakes her up, he puts him, because he has some adrenaline to keep him awake, because he had some earlier, but then he fell asleep. So he does get some injection to her to bring him out. That guy does some more stuff, and she says, "Get him, Quint," or Quentin, saying Quint from Jaws, Quentin. She doesn't do anything against the fight against this guy. Kyle Gallner is the one doing the fighting. He has this paper cutter. Gets him a couple times. But he gets cut, and this Freddy steals a line from Freddy vs. Jason. Why won't you die? Like when Freddy said in Freddy vs. Jason, Robert Englund said to Jason in his dream world, "Why won't you die?" Here he says the same thing. And another one they steal from Freddy vs. Jason. Oh, I forgot another one. Another line they stole from another Elm Street film. In Nancy's dream, when she's being held down in the bed. And Krueger is Jackie Earle Haley's like, how is this for a wet dream? He stole that in part 4 of The Dream Master when Robert Englund kills Rodney Eastman, who played Joey, one of the Dream Warriors from part 3, in his waterbed. He says that, and he stole from that. So yeah, another remake. They do remake scenes from the first film. They steal lines from other sequels. And the other line they stole from Freddy vs. Jason is when Rooney Mara, it's slightly altered, but still the same thing, where she says, "You're in my world now, bitch." Basically, what the girl in Freddy vs. Jason said, the girl in Freddy vs. Jason said before she cuts Robert Englund's head off. "Welcome to my world, bitch." She says that, but it's like, you're in my world, but it's still the same thing. And all she does is doesn't cut the guy's head off, just slits his throat. That's it. And after all, she cut, I think it was Kyle Gallner who cut his hand off as well, I think. But... And after that, they burn the place, and then Nancy goes back home with her mom, and then you get this bad... It literally was bad CG. When Freddy Krueger's in the mirror, she comes from behind and gouges this way to Nancy's mother and pulls her into the mirror through her eye, gouges her eyes out and pulls her into the mirror, and she's standing there screaming, "Ah!" And then end credits. And now that I'm sure this probably makes how long is this? Got 30 minutes on this ranting and raving on this piece of shit. 30 minutes. I try to go through this as fast as I can, but I can't. So yeah, this is one of the worst remakes, and especially for horror film remakes. Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake is a lot better, 10 times better than this. Friday the 13th, 2009, is 10 times better than this. The Hills Have Eyes from 2006 is 100 better times than this. I love that one. It's one of my favorite ones. Let's see. House of Wax from 2005. A lot better than this. This is one of the worst horror film remakes. This is up there on the same pedestal with Rob Zombie's Halloween, the Hitcher remake, there was April Fool's remake, Prom Night remake. I'm sure there's a lot more, but I can't think of it on the top of my head because it's screwing me up now. But yeah, bad casting. Rooney Mara, so bland and boring and totally like blank face stare, no emotion, and horrible. She sucked big time. One of the worst one of the worst leads in a horror film remake. But like I said, Kyle Gallner, he's the best actor in the film. At least he has a personality. The rest of them has no personality in this film. Jackie Earle Haley is the worst Freddy Krueger because there's only been Robert Englund and him. He's the worst Freddy Krueger still. He's doing his Freddy Krueger version impersonation of Rorschach. Same voice. What else? Kellan Lutz from the beginning. He was boring as well. He feels no pain after getting a large cut in his hand. Cassidy, nothing. Thomas Dekker, nothing. Clancy Brown should not have starred in this film. And I think it was the nurse. I think it was Judith Hogue. If that was her, yeah, I'm pretty sure that is Judith Hogue. Should not be in this film either. Stealing stuff from the original film because it's a remake, but very piss poorly. Like the bad, horrible CGI coming out of the walls, and the girl lifted up, like flying around like she's being in a paranormal activity film. And then stealing lines from other sequels as well, like from Part 4, The Wet Dream, or 2 of them from Freddy vs. Jason. Lame deaths. The score from Steve Jablonsky. I remember nothing from the score. Stuff that doesn't make no sense. Here goes another one. Remember, if I keep on doing this, I'm like two seconds away from puking all over my computer, and that would have been really bad. This film is driving me insane. That's why I'm rocking again, because it's making me unstable. Some enough anger as this, because I didn't want to. I have to do this because I had to get this over with, because I want to end on a good note on this Elm Street franchise. Freddy vs. Jason is coming up next, because yeah, I have issues with Freddy vs. Jason, but overall I still like the film. A lot better than this, so I want to end on a good note on this franchise, please. And that's why I'm not wearing the sweater, because I feel like I've insulted it to the character of this franchise. This one doesn't deserve it. No. But it doesn't matter anyway. Despite all the crap it got from critics, it made money. $63 million domestically. That's more than any of the Elm Street films. And worldwide, it's the highest grossing one in this franchise. Even a bit more than Freddy vs. Jason as well. So they succeeded in making the money. Congrats. But you ain't getting no diddly squat from me. When I'm saying congrats, I'm being sarcastic. Everything I've said is just, I don't know what else to say. Bad characters, for the most part, except for one. Bad acting. Bad CGI. Like I said, the pathetic on the CG enhancements on the burnt face. Can't do that all practical. What do you think Robert Englund had to do for the whole franchise? And also, I think one time they wanted Kevin Bacon in a reboot, another reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street. Leave it alone. I love Kevin Bacon, but he's not gonna be no better as Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy Krueger. I'm sorry. I love Kevin Bacon, but he's no Freddy Krueger. He's not even if he is gonna be casted as Freddy Krueger, which I've heard nothing since though. But still, I'm just saying. He's not gonna be no better than Jack. Well, if Jack Earle was just beyond shitty. God, I better end here because I don't want to go on 40 minutes in this whole thing. I better stop right now. Everything about this is terrible. Everything about this terrible, well, except for Kyle Gallner in that one scene in the pharmacy with the interacting with the real world, the dream, whatever. That's only two things. That doesn't save the movie in the least bit. I hate this film with a passion. It's one of the worst remakes, let alone horror film remakes. I hate this film to death. I never want to see this film again. Never. Man. I haven't been this pissed in quite some time, and you haven't seen it like an epic rant, me ranting more in a while. So hey, you got one. So hope you enjoy this huge rant on this very 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 big piece of shit, piece of trash, garbage, wherever you want to say it, on the Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 remake. It's what it is. It belongs in the garbage, and it's pure garbage. If anyone likes the film, it's their opinion, though. I just won't get it, though. I think my brother, he likes it. Whatever. We're always on different levels. But if he likes a film, whatever. It's his opinion. He ain't changing mine the least bit. But anyway, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this huge rant. Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. This film can kiss my ass. There you go. And thanks for watching. And stay tuned. And at the end, on the good note, on the last entry in the French. Well, technically this is the last entry in the series, but I want to end it on a good note of my reviewing. Frey vs. Jason. Stay tuned.